I want to tell you about a woman on 5 corporate boards who lost her seat at the 6th, not because of her resume, because of 11 seconds of the way she answered a question. She told me this herself, over dinner near my apartment on the Upper West Side. The question posed to her was simple. Her answer was smart. She knew the material cold. But her voice climbed at the end of every sentence, the way it does when someone is still waiting for permission to finish their own thought. The chairman across the table said to a mutual friend afterward, "She sounded like she was asking to be in the room, not like she belonged in it." That sentence cost her the seat, not her competence, her delivery of it. That's the thing almost every accomplished woman gets wrong. We spend 20 years building the resume and 0 minutes training the actual instrument that delivers it. Your voice is doing one of 2 things in every meeting, every dinner, every negotiation you walk into. It's building your authority, or it's quietly, invisibly dismantling it. And most women have never been told which one is happening. So today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 specific ways your voice signals command or signals permission seeking, sentence by sentence, silence by silence. I'm going to show you exactly what to change and exactly why it works. Because I don't believe in giving you a rule without giving you the reason behind it. And before we begin, I have something waiting for you at the end of this video, for the women who stay until the end. It's called the Elegant Morning Routine Checklist, and it's free. Keep watching. The Uptalk tax. Most women think Uptalk sounds friendly, approachable, easy to be around. It doesn't. It sounds unfinished, but before I show you the fix, I need you to understand where this pattern actually comes from, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. When I was buying for luxury houses, I sat across from hundreds of women pitching 7-figure accounts. The ones who closed never asked a question with their statements. I remember one woman specifically, a buyer I worked alongside for 2 years, who could deliver devastating news, a canceled order, a missed deadline, and her voice never once lifted at the end. It landed, every time, and the room simply accepted it because there was nothing left hanging in the air to question. A venture capitalist in Silicon Valley once told me she tracks this in every pitch meeting she sits in. Rising intonation at the end of a declarative sentence reads to the listener's brain as an unresolved thought, meaning the listener's attention stays alert for more, rather than accepting what was said as settled fact. Researchers at Cornell studying speech patterns in professional negotiations found something remarkably consistent with that. Statements delivered with falling intonation were rated as more credible and more decisive by listeners than the identical content delivered with rising intonation. Same words, same facts, different verdict, purely because of pitch. Think of it like a door. A falling tone closes the door behind the sentence. The thought is delivered, complete, settled. A rising tone leaves the door swinging open, and people will walk straight through it with their doubt, their follow-up questions, their instinct to renegotiate what you just said. The fix. End every sentence that matters on a downward note, even the ones that feel out of habit, like they should ask for approval. Practice it out loud on something simple. I've reviewed the numbers. Let your voice drop on the word numbers. Don't let it lift. But here's where most people stop, and stopping here leaves you with an incomplete framework. Because a falling tone alone will not save you if you're still speaking from the wrong register entirely. Which is exactly what the Undeniables Complete Sense covers in detail. 7 complete guides, including identity, presence, first impressions, social mastery, wellness, standards, and your morning ritual. Everything the most elegant, vital, and undeniable version of you needs, built into one system for less than a dinner out. It's linked in the description below, or scan the QR code on your screen. 2. The register you were never taught to use. Most women were taught to speak pleasantly. Nobody ever sat us down and taught us to speak in what I call the register of decision. Let me show you exactly what that means. But first, understand why it matters as much as it does. My father set a full table every single night, even when it was just family, even when money was tight in the years the restaurant struggled. He used to say, "The table is where people decide who you are." Voice works exactly the same way. A corporate attorney who made partner at 38 once broke this down for me over lunch. Junior associates, without realizing it, speak almost entirely in the register of request. I was thinking maybe we could look at partners speak in the register of decision. We're moving forward with this. The content can be identical. The physiology of the delivery is not. Slower pace, a lower resting pitch, complete sentences that don't trail off into nothing. I watched this play out at a dinner in Washington a few years ago. Two women at the table, both extraordinarily accomplished, both making essentially the same recommendation to the group about a piece of legislation. One phrased it as, "I don't know, maybe we could consider." The other said plainly, "Here's what I do." The room turned toward the second woman without anyone deciding to. "Here's what that means for you, specifically." Swap "I was wondering if maybe" for "I'd like to." Swap "sort of" and "kind of" and "just" for nothing at all. Simply delete them from the sentence and notice how much more weight the remaining words carry. Without this next piece, though, you could say every one of the right words in exactly the right register and still undo the whole thing in a single sentence at the end. 3. The sentence that undoes everything before it. I've watched brilliant women deliver 4 flawless minutes of insight and then close with, "But I could be wrong." That single sentence erases everything that came before it. A dermatologist I know here in New York, sharp, credentialed, at the top of her field, used to end nearly every consultation with, "But obviously you should get a second opinion." Her senior partner finally pulled her aside and told her something I think about often. "You're not being humble. You're refunding your own expertise before anyone even asked for a return." She stopped doing it. Her patient retention changed within a season, and she told me later she hadn't realized how many of her patients had been quietly shopping for a different doctor after hearing that closing line. There's a parallel finding from a study out of the University of Chicago on workplace communication, which found that self-undermining phrases placed at the end of a statement, "But I'm not sure. Does that make sense?" were remembered by listeners more than the substantive content that preceded them. The hedge became the headline. Think of your closing sentence like a signature on a check. Everything before it is the amount written in. That final line either honors the amount or voids the entire check. The correction is not arrogance. It's simply silence where the hedge used to live. Say your recommendation, then stop talking. But here's where most people stop, and it leaves the framework incomplete, because there's something that happens in the space between your sentences that matters just as much as the words inside them. 4. Why silence reads as command. Most women rush to fill silence, as if a pause were a failure that needs immediate repair. The most composed women I have studied do exactly the opposite. A maitre at a Relais and Chateau property once told me he can identify the most senior person at any table before a single word is spoken. She's the one who doesn't fill the pause after she's asked a question. She simply waits, unbothered, for the answer to arrive on its own time. A chairman on 5 boards described the same pattern to me in a meeting context. The moment someone finishes a sentence and simply waits, without softening it or adding onto it, the entire room reads that stillness as certainty rather than discomfort. It's the same principle behind why a portrait subject who isn't performing for the frame reads as more powerful than one who is visibly posing. Stillness signals that nothing needs to be proven. I noticed this myself years ago at a gallery opening. A woman I just met was asked a pointed question about a piece she'd acquired. She paused, genuinely paused, 3 or 4 full seconds before answering. In that silence, I found myself leaning toward her, waiting. She hadn't said a word yet, and she already had the room. The fix: after you make a point, count 2 full seconds before you speak again, even if it feels physically unbearable to sit in it. That silence is doing work that more words cannot do for you. 5. The apology you didn't need to make. And this brings me to the final piece, the one that ties every habit above together into one complete instrument. Sorry. Quick question. Sorry, can I just add something? Women apologize constantly for taking up space in rooms they were invited into specifically because of what they know. A woman on a Fortune 500 board told me she started privately tallying how often she heard female colleagues open a sentence with "sorry" compared to their male counterparts in the same meetings. The gap was significant enough that she eventually raised it directly with her CEO, who who hadn't noticed it at all until she showed him the pattern in black and white. I think of this the way my mother thought about a seamstress's stitching. A garment can be beautifully cut, but one loose thread at the seam and the whole structure eventually gives. The apology is that loose thread. Here is the complete framework, all 5 pieces together. Falling tone at the close of your sentences, decision register language throughout, no hedge at the finish, comfortable silence in the pause, and no apology for simply speaking. Together, these are not a personality change. They are a recalibration of an instrument you have owned this whole time and were simply never taught to tune. The next step is the full blueprint, the Undeniables Complete System, 7 complete guides covering identity, presence, first impressions, social mastery, wellness, standards, and your morning ritual. Everything the most elegant, vital, and undeniable version of you needs, built into one system for less than a dinner out. It is linked in the description or scan the QR code on your screen. These 5 habits will not change what you know. They will change how instantly people believe you know it. Choose one this week, just one, and come back and tell me which. I'll see you in the next one. Isabel.